Okay, end of the first day. Just testing these flat down. Tomorrow I'll build the stand. I just thought you'd be interested. The sun's pretty much gone in, and from there all we're getting is a very small amount. That's it, but you can see well, it's quite interesting. 0.6 kilowatt hours used from the sun. Yeah, you can see it's in the shade now, so even when the sun comes out, the buildings block the light. So tomorrow I'm going to build a little setup over there, a proper stand that I can then transport down to the southern house, and then we'll monitor it and see what we get tomorrow. Yeah, that's it for day one on that. It's good. This morning around about 6 o'clock, the panels as they are now came alive. I could see that on the app, but didn't get going till 11, and then it was just messing around simply because this tree, too much shadow and shade, whatever, which was expected. 2 o'clock, however, it properly switched on. It's now 4:30, so it's been going for 2.5 hours. It's put 12% back in the battery. I'm getting about 400 watts, so it's 100 watts a panel. And strangely enough, I was getting 450, but then these little things fell on the panel from the tree, and that knocked off 50 watts straight away. And then a bird has gone to the toilet on that panel, and that knocked off quite a bit as well, which again is expected. So the reason we're here now is we are going to build some kind of frame, probably using pallets and wood, that can be disassembled, put in the van and taken to the house down south, because this is just a test, remember. That's it. Let's make something. Right, it didn't take too long. Got the panels just with a couple of legs on, and yeah. So I'm getting, in this sunshine, 450, 460 watts. There's still some dirt on them, so I'm going to clean it all off, and then we're ready for another day tomorrow. See how it performs compared to just being flat on the floor. I think it'll be quite interesting. And then oh yeah, I'll show you, I've connected in my 4G router to the system, so it can operate independently. It doesn't need internet or broadband, it can do it itself. So I'll show you that now. Good evening. Right, so it's been a couple of weeks since you saw me fit the solar panels outside. I'm just about to starting to take this apart now, hence why all the cables are back out. So the solar panels arrive here, a temporary lead, which go into here to the charger and then down to the batteries. Performance wise, so I had to charge it twice from the mains, and each time was because it was a super cloudy day with no solar really whatsoever. And at the moment you can see we're only getting 50 watts from the panel, and normally this is the best time of day, 6 o'clock, 6:30, and we're still way off getting 100%. I've been using it to run the computer constantly, the lights, and what else? TV and all that sort of stuff. So basically I've received about 32 kilowatt hours of electricity for free, which is really good. But once you get into this, it becomes a bit of an addiction. Anyway, today I've just been out and bought a new generator with an electric start, which will be hooked up to something similar to this later on, but that's for a new video. Okay, for this setup, now we are going to dismantle it all. Yes, because this was only just a test rig for down south. If this works this weekend, so tomorrow is Friday, we're going to go down, set this all up along with a generator, which I will show you I've tested. In fact, you can have a look now. We're out here in the garden outside because one of the main components to this new off-grid system has got to be a generator. Yeah, I know it's not great, but you're going to need it in winter. You're not going to get enough sun, and there are some appliances which will just completely mince the batteries. And I already have this generator. You'll see from my other video, used it on building sites where there is no power, and the reason we use it is reliable. It'd be nice to use renewables for everything, solar, wind, that kind of stuff, but there are days when the wind doesn't blow and the sun doesn't shine, and you've got to replace it with something. Anyway, so this is a Honda 20i, which means it's a 2000 watts max power, but in reality with these things, if you look closer, it'll actually tell you what it is rated at. Rated power 1600 watts, 1.6 kilowatts on the top left. This was manufactured in 2006 and it weighs about 21 kilos. Not bad, not bad. If you're smelling unleaded, this runs on just on unleaded, no oiling or anything, and it smells like fruity, like a fruit punch, it's not good. It's done. Flush it out and get a new one, but that one doesn't seem too bad. Right, on the front, I've changed this. I put this on myself. That's a Euro socket, and we've got a UK socket. Well, I've ordered another one of those to get rid of the UK socket. So if anybody wants one of these, let me know. I can hook you up. This switches between full power all the time, and then this one varies the output according to what you put on it. So the more load you put on, the faster it runs. 12 volts. I've got the lead. It will charge a starter battery or something like that. We don't really use that very much. And then some indicator lights, low oil, problems, and then I don't know what that one means. This side, choke, starter handle, and then this is the fuel cutoff. So let's turn that on and turn the choke on a bit. There's two positions, on and off. Put it on for now. Turn the top on. Right, so that's got all petrol in, and I honestly haven't started this since that last video. So let's see if it starts. No is the answer. Definitely know it's running. So we're going to have to look, I think, at making it possible to have the unit in the house, which means exhausting it through the wall or something like that. But it works, it'll do the job. So let's see if it's all we need. So that's the generator I'm going to take with me, 2000 watt one. So hopefully that should do the hot water, charge the batteries if we've got a completely cloudy day. So there we go. I've also bought this, which is I think I might have shown you on the other video, but it's a 4G router connected to the batteries. So this is so I can have remote access to this system while I'm up north and the system is down south. So ideally what I want to do is, if I decide on a Friday that on Friday I'm going to go down and do some work at the weekend, Thursday I can start charging the hot water tank via the solar. So when I get down there I've got hot water. There is one problem with that, the expanding hot water, so I've got a plan for that as well. Anyway, this will all get dismantled now. I'll start to take out the solar panels, load it all in the van, take it down south, reassemble it, and go from there. All packed up, all ready to go. Get the solar panels in first. So let's go and have a look at that. Hopefully I've got everything I need to take down, but I'll always be missing something. But all the cables are back to how they were, all disconnected. Right, that's it. We made it, me and dog. So we are now down south. I've unloaded everything that we brought, the solar system. Got some other stuff to do, but it's a bit of a mess, so I need to tidy up first and foremost. I've switched the power on for now, as you can see, mainly for hot water for a shower, and obviously keep the beer cold in the fridge. I'll start installing the battery system this afternoon. The solar panels are in the back garden, we need to build those up as well. Yeah, we'll just go from there. Once it's all done, we'll swap the electrics over and test out the generator, but that's all going to be tomorrow. Cable for the solar panels. So the cable's long enough, which is good, is my concern. Haven't had time to set everything up, it's just taken ages and it's been so hot. So what I'm going to do is set it up tomorrow. This evening I've turned the electric on as I've told you, and yeah, we'll get all this working tomorrow, get the board on the wall, get it all set up, and then have a look at the water heater. It's going to be my biggest challenge. It's 1600 watts, which is massive. I'm hoping with 500 watts ish of solar, it's only going to take 1100 watts from either the generator or the batteries. It's just whether the batteries can keep up. And another thing that I had considered, it's so quiet here and the neighbours are so nice. Even though it's a Honda generator, I'm going to have to do some sound tests on it. Put it in various places, like in there or under the patio, in the house, in the garden, and because I really don't want to cheese the neighbours off. That's it really. Okay, so see you in the morning and we'll carry on. Good afternoon. Just taking a dog for a walk. Bought a new squeaky toy. It's annoying. Anyway, we need to, this is part of the solar video, so we need to find out a location to mount the board with the inverter and all that sort of stuff. I've come up with here really. I can line the batteries up here. The leads for the mains come down there anyway, and this is the lead for the solar panel which I put in last night. Okay, so the board's mounted. Just going to make all the connections and then connecting the broadband, tidy up the cables, and then I'll bring you back when I've connected the batteries. Then we'll go outside and build a stand, put the solar panels up. Then we'll start doing some measurements. So, okay, it's all wired in, maybe. So I've double checked all the connections. And it's showing voltage, correct voltage. So there's nothing left to do except for fire it up, see if that boots up, see if we get a light on here, and see if the broadband turns on as well. If that all works, then I'll turn on the main inverter. So I'll turn this on now, and hopefully it won't let out the magic smoke. So something's happening. So I've got power to the internet, power to the control module. Not yet. So there's some issue there with the remote access. I think it's probably the router needs the pin code putting in. Anyway, I'll check that out and get back to you. Okay, it's working. Just had to reset the router, and you can see everything's showing up. No AC input, no loads, no photo voltaics. That's fine. And you can see that just having the inverter on and doing nothing takes 30 watts almost. Okay, those are the panels. Cable is connected, upstairs. So I'm just going to put a slight slope on these panels, connect them up. You can see it's overcast. It's quite warm, but it's grey, so I'm not going to get much out of them. It's forecasting thunderstorms today and tomorrow. Might be a chance to try out the generator side of things, so we'll see. But let me sort those out and we'll come back to you. Right, we're all connected in. Okay, here we go. So 0. Let's turn this on. Registered something. See. Brilliant. Okay, it's fairly low reading because two things. One, it's overcast, but mainly batteries are already charged, so it's harder for it to put any charge into the batteries. So we can discharge the batteries a bit later and see what happens. Good morning. Okay, so using the solar outside, it's bright but not super sunny, but this has gone into float mode, which means that the batteries are completely charged, ready to go. The broadband works fine, everything's set up now. All I'm going to do now is disconnect all the cables from the board downstairs, reconnect them to the inverter, and we'll go from there really. That took ages. Not with it today. Anyway, we are now on LinkedIn, fully off grid. So as you can see at the moment, let me see if I can show you. Battery is still 100%. I'm taking 130 watts ish, but the solar outside is giving me 180, so it's keeping the battery topped up and powering the mains loads. So what have we got on? A lamp, the fridge, and my laptop and the satellite dish. That's it. Nothing amazing. But watch what happens. This is a normal bulb. So look at that massive difference. So these bulbs are going to have to be changed for LED ones. They suck too much juice. So when the fridge started up, I noticed it drew about 840 watts. I know, it's quite a lot. And then it dropped down to, I don't know, 30-ish. I'm quite pleased with that so far, so we'll do tests throughout the day. Let me just show you, we've got this here. And that is the connection to the generator through an extension lead. Yeah. So that's it. I'll do a bit of a test tonight during the day and see how it works. Let me just show you what the solar's like. So it's overcast and cloudy, so not great at all, but it's still giving us 180 watts, which is running everything nicely. So at the moment we're 100% on the sunlight inside, charging laptops, satellite, TVs, that kind of stuff. Right, so far so good. Stand by for an update. Right, let's do some load testing of stuff. First things first, the light we've already looked at earlier. What we're going to do is turn the TV on. So let's have a look at what it is currently. Let's have a look. So around 75 watts for that. It's not bad. I just want to show you this. This is a heater run on paraffin. So you buy big bottles of paraffin, heating fuel, and that's it. It's just a heater that runs on that, so it's not electric. It's just part of the off-grid plan. But I want to show you the I want to show you the power consumption of one of these when it turns on. It's quite a lot. So let's see. So that's taking 700 watts from the inverter. Well, we're back down now to where we were before. So while it's heating up, every so often it turns on the glow plug to make sure that there's a good combustion of the heating oil in the heater. I'm expecting this to have a big effect. Not too bad. So the big question, or the big draw, is going to be the hot water. So let's see what happens to that. So Let's see if we can see 180. So that's taking a lot of power. 73 amps. If you're wondering why my dog is being so silly, she's got it in her head at the moment to chase any reflections or shadows. I don't know why. And she makes that awful noise at the same time. So back down to planet Earth. I've just switched on the coffee machine. You can see 500 watt is 1000 watts basically. 400 is coming from the solar, and the rest is coming from the batteries. So it's offsetting the solar, which is really good. Something interesting happened last night. So about, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, something like that, the alarm went off. Low voltage, and the inverter shut down. I was thinking, what? There's nothing on, apart from the fridge. Anyway, I got up this morning, turned it all off, got up this morning, check it all out. And it got to 48%, which is super low. You never want to go that low, really. 55, 50 is your limit. I thought, I don't know what's going on there. I'm trying to work it out. Did the battery get so low the inverter couldn't start the fridge? And when the compressor stalls, you get a big draw. Because I was seeing 1600 watts in the top here. Thinking, where could that be coming from? Anyway, the answer was simple. Yesterday when I did the test on the hot water, got it up to temperature, it stayed there until it cooled down, and I forgot to turn the switch off. So 2-3 o'clock in the morning it dropped, turned on the heater, boom, it just absolutely rinsed as I wasn't there to turn it off, just kept going until the batteries went flat. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's a lesson. Always make sure the switch is off, but when I come back next time, the system I'm going to put on it to automatically switch it. We'll get rid of all that anyway, but I should have lovely hot water now. That's it for this video. If you liked it, you can always buy me a coffee. It's in the description. I'm going to do an update video on this when I get the generator working. Yeah, that's it. So I'll see you on the next one. There's the dog.